Not one of us haven't made mistakes in this world. Not one. If we had the whole world as an audience and we said, raise your hand if you haven't made a mistake, nobody's going to do that. But yet we'll jump on these mistakes that young people make, and we'll turn them into monsters, and that's what we really do. The young offender system, you know, where's the nurturing? It's punishment. It's you're wrong, you're supervised. Where's the parenting skills? The child welfare system takes these kids away because there's an economic base built around them not being with their parents. And then it's economic security for the young offenders, for the jail, for the law, for the justice, for the hospital, for the nurses, for them all. Their livelihood. And then you hear this comment made by a lot of non-native people. I've heard it many times over my life. We are paying you tax dollar. $7 billion a year paid to native people. Well, I'm sorry, that's not, we get the crumbs. The most of it goes to the institution and the bureaucracy. Department of Indian Affairs says they spend $7 billion on native people. You go and look at any Department of Indian Affairs in Canada, see what kind of vehicles they drive, see what kind of office they have, see how much staff and resources that they have, and mostly, majority of them are white. That's Department of Indian Affairs. You know, to say Indian today is derogatory. We don't use that language anymore, but yet here's our government that's going to, you know, that likes to project itself as being the champion of people, is still calling us Indians. Department of Indian Affairs. And that money that they get, you go and look at how they live. The style and quality of life as employment with our money, keeping us oppressed. And then you come and take a look at any First Nation in Canada and see if they have those kind of vehicles, that kind of staff, those kind of computers, those kind of resources. Department of Indian Affairs, when they're done with something, when they're completely finished with it, when it's useless to them, then they'll give it to us and they'll act like they're doing us a real big favor. Oh my God, we're going to give you a Suburban that only has 500,000 miles on it. Aren't you guys lucky? That stuff's got to stop. You know, when we talk about a future, a brighter future, you know, you got to also ask, why is it that native people, the richest nation in the world for God's sakes, and we're the poorest people? That's horrific. That's horrific. So, you know, until there's a lot of things that, you know, when we start talking about what are we going to do about the youth and what are we going to do about the justice system in relation to the youth and whatnot, there's a lot of underlying stuff that needs to be fixed up before we, but unless if I wanted a career as a supervisor or staff and I wanted job security, I'll go and apply at the Young Offenders Facility, or I'll go and apply at the jail, because those are jobs I know I can retire with, because there are always going to be people coming in there. It's guaranteed because the system is set up like that. If they don't have young offenders, what are they going to do with all the staff? What's the union going to say about that? What does the policy say about that? And then now we're talking about other dynamics that are going to enter into a court system and nobody wins. So better to just stick with the status quo. You know, I'm so proud of the commitment that I've made to try to make a difference by encouraging communities to get involved, by encouraging families to get involved with their own more, and to quit blaming ourselves and blaming each other.